to the Expanding Your Search and Stopping for Directions podcast with Brent and Jodibailey. We are growing our circles of connections and knowledge together with encouraging conversations and positive communications. Today, Brent and Jody welcome
member of the Guardians Southern Gospel Group and Dove Award winner, John Darin Rowsey.
And now, Brent and Jody Bailey.
Happy Friday, everybody! Welcome to Expanding Your Search and Stopping for Directions. It's good to have everybody with us today. It is Good Friday. It is right here in the Easter season, the throes of it. Actually, tonight is Good Friday. Those of you who do celebrate Shabbat, this is a special Shabbat. It is also the day that Jesus was crucified. We're going to get into that here in a minute. Let's head over to the tech booth right now where Jody and Preston are there. And it's Friday. It's Friday.
It's Friday.
It is a great day always on Fridays. It's just like a little more extra.
It is. It's extra. And I love, I love the thought of, what Jesus did for us. But I don't like what the pain he had to go through. But when he was crucified. But yeah, Good Friday. I mean, it's a good day.
It's powerful. We're going to talk about it here in just a few minutes. But before we get to that, do you have big plans for this weekend? I know a lot of folks go out of town, or maybe not across the country out of town, but they'll run out. Like if a family lives in the next city next by or something like that, they'll go spend the weekend with them. A lot of folks have big plans for brunch on Sunday.
Yes.
And so we're doing a family cookout with the church this weekend.
Yep.
And we're going to have a service together at one of our members' backyard.
And we just may hunt for eggs.
Ooh. Well, all right.
So if you're part of our church or want to be, come on out.
All right. We'd love that. Yeah. A couple of things that we have also got planned for Easter is, of course, the Easter Bunny comes to our house. We always have good gift exchanging for that.
Yes, we do. We do.
And then, of course, we're eating with the church family, but then we usually go out to have dinner with us as a family as well.
Yes, we do. So it'll be nice.
Happy Good Friday, everybody.
Yes, Good Friday.
All right. Well, here's before we get to what days are today, I saw something very interesting in the news that Oreo, the company Oreo.
Yes.
We all know what that,
Yes,
it's amazing.
Oreos, yes.
Oreo has delivered just in time for Easter their own little cookies and cream eggs. The little small eggs.
Interesting.
They have ones now that are just cookies and cream, and it's by Oreo, the brand. So if you can get those. They've also got s'mores cookies and strawberry frosted donut flavored eggs.
Huh.
And then some kind of pink and green cookies as well. But they've given us these for Easter just for this season. So if you're a big cookies and cream fan, there you go.
There you go. And it's, I know that one of our sons will really love that.
You can only find them at Target.
Oh, okay. Well, good to know.
So,
good to know.
All right. What else is going on?
Well, today is also our food day is peanut butter and jelly. Yeah, peanut butter and jelly.
It's like a sign.
It is. It's a
Hallelujah.
sign. Yes, peanut butter and jelly day. A lot of people are busy. I mean, it's Friday. It's Good Friday. People want to go to Good Friday service. What else? Just make for your kids a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if they'll eat it. Now, my kids will not eat peanut butter and jelly.
That's so weird because you'd think that's like an automatic kids thing.
It is.
Our kids have neither one really picked up on that. I don't understand it.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the fruit.
How many of you?
The peanut butter. Tell us.
How many of you like peanut butter and jelly?
I like it.
I like it slathered on a steak.
Yeah. Yes.
People think I'm crazy.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, he does. It's good though. It's really good. You do a good job with that.
It is good.
So peanut butter and jelly day. It doesn't say peanut butter and jelly sandwich day.
Just peanut butter and jelly.
We could make steaks and put peanut butter and jelly on it. So
I remember one time when Preston was young, I had him try something. He goes, "Ooh, does it have peanut butter in it?" I was like, "You'll eat a Reese cup and not think a thing in the world about it." So
I don't
all right.
understand. Anyway,
What's your favorite Easter candy? Does it have peanut butter in it? I like the Reese's eggs myself. That's my favorite.
yes.
I won't have any this year. What is that, son? You got to use the microphone.
Mic. People want to hear your
Oh, yeah,
voice.
that's right. I have one.
Yeah.
Hershey's.
Hershey's.
You like Hershey's?
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Cookies and cream. You like
Cookies and
Hershey's
cream.
Cookies and cream.
All right. So what is yours? Drop in the comments below and let us know what is your favorite Easter candy in the comments below. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So it's also National Ferret Day. You know that animal that
ferret. You don't even know what that means.
I don't really know.
I had a friend that when we were in Kentucky living there, we had a lot of redneck friends, and I make no bones about that. And one guy, somebody was talking about a ferret or something, and he couldn't believe the story. He was like, "What?" And he sounded like Boomhauer almost, or somebody from King of the Hill. He was,
From King of the Hill.
"I ain't no ferret." Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, National Ferret Day. So if you are a ferret owner today, celebrate your pet.
Oh, how do we celebrate that?
I guess get some knowledge about them, because I look at them and I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about ferrets. I don't know if
I'm not a big
lovable or if they're cuddly. I don't.
We've
really
known
know.
a couple people that have them,
Yeah.
and they're just a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
yeah.
Like, I'm always afraid they're gonna like climb up, be all cute and cuddly, and then like sink your
exactly.
teeth in. You're like,
Exactly.
oh gosh.
Yeah.
So
But let's move on then. So it's also National Reconciliation Day. So what that means is if you have relationships maybe that, past relationships that, I'm not talking about ex-boyfriends or ex-husbands or anything like that, but like friends. I mean, I in my life have had friends that maybe
Sure.
had some kind of a falling out with.
yeah,
And then you reconcile, and it's a wonderful thing. And you can usually, if you reconcile with a great friend,
yeah,
you can have a stronger friendship, a stronger
yeah. It's worth it to
bond.
build those back.
It really is.
It really
so
is.
reconcile with those that are considered people that you've loved, friendship-wise or family-wise. I mean, there's a lot of families that need to be reconciled.
Yes,
So,
totally.
Yes. So do your part in trying to repair those relationships. So,
All right.
and then the last one is World Autism Day.
Oh, this is a big one.
Big
we know
day.
several families
We
that
do.
have children on the spectrum.
On the spectrum, yes.
That are absolutely unique individuals, but they're some of the most lovable kids that you've ever met in your life.
Yes.
And they are awesome.
Yes. And they're usually filled with so much talent and skill and knowledge and intelligence. That's the word I was actually trying to find. But a lot of times they just cannot, they don't know how to handle social interactions.
Yes.
And so, so I would say, if you know somebody with a family that has autistic children, maybe an autistic adult, reach out to them today, because you know what? It's not always easy. It's not easy to raise children.
Sure.
Just as it is.
It's
especially these days. But
it is awareness to the cause too. There is hopefully something that's going to breakthrough is going to happen out there.
Yes. See what
I know
you
that
can do.
in our church, of course, our good friends James and Loretta Justin, Dr. Loretta Justin, and they have 3 children. 2 of them are very high on the spectrum.
Yes, they are.
And they are they have the same issues that a lot of kids on the spectrum have. Very socially, they don't like loud noises. And I remember when they would come to church and they would wear their noise-canceling headphones. But the one, Joshua, the youngest one, would always come and hug me.
Oh, so sweet.
He would always meet me in the lobby. When they first started coming, when we were on Lakehurst, they would meet me in the lobby and they would have their little Thomas the Tank engines, and they would wrap their arms around me and hug me. And it's
super
just
sweet boys. Yes.
They really are. So,
yeah.
Listen, folks, today is Good Friday. Today is the day that we celebrate that Jesus went to the cross. It was a horrific day for him. It was a horrific day for his body. Physically, he was beaten. His beard was plucked out of his face. The hair was ripped off of his head. A crown of thorns was placed upon his head, and then he was crucified. It was a terrible, terrible price to pay. But it didn't stop when he died. He went to hell, and actually, death, hell, and the grave actually ruled over him for its undisclosed amount of time. Even if it was for a second, his body died. And while he was there, in that terrible place, that's when the restoration power of God came upon him and healed his body and raised him from the dead. And when he came back, he actually broke death. He broke its power and robbed it of its power and took the keys from death, hell, and the grave. And when he rose, which we're going to celebrate on Sunday, that was what sealed the deal for us. And all we have to do is believe that. And when we believe what Jesus did, starting on today, then when we believe that he came out on Sunday, we're set right with God. And that is the most important thing. It's not about giving up things. It's not about changing things. It's not about, listen, it is about accepting what Jesus did when he suffered on a day that we call Good Friday. And I just want to say, do you believe? If not, make that choice to believe today. And then I want to say thank you, Jesus, for making that substitution for us. So, all right, that's what's going on around the country today. We've got a great guest for you today. John Darin Rowsey is going to join me here in just a second. So let's expand your search. Throughout the course of this show, I sit in amazement sometimes and think of all the people that we've been able to meet or know and bring to you every week. And this fella today is no exception. I have known this gentleman, I would say most of my life, probably not all of my life, but a good chunk of it. And I just turned 50. So I would say at least 40 years, if not longer. And I can't believe to say that we're even that old. But my guest today, John Darin Rowsey. He is a singer and a songwriter, and he's currently traveling with Stowtown Records. The group is called the Guardians. His career has spanned well over 25 years. He's had 5 number 1 songs and dozens of top 40 songs. This past year, he just won his 2nd Dove Award, and he won it for the best Christian musical. His latest project is called It's Still Good News, and it is on Stowtown Records. Please welcome to the program my old friend, and I mean that in the fact that we've known each other a long time, not that he's old. Welcome, John Darin Rowsey, everybody. Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. You know, when you said we've known each other a long time, I was thinking back. I remember, this is how long we've known each other. I remember when you started talking, because everyone thought that you had such a deep voice for such a little guy. And I can remember that far back because of church youth rallies and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Now let's just fill in everybody a little bit of our history. John grew up at my cousin's church, was just across the river from our church. So we did a lot of things together. And so we would go to youth rallies and things like that. And that's where we really started to see each other lots. He used to sing with his family. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah.
That was where I first really started hearing you. Played piano and all those kind of things. Y'all had a little group name back then. What was it called? I can't remember.
You know, they just called us after like a Sunday school class called the Willing Workers. It was very funny, but you know what? That's how it all began for me. It's where I fell in love with this music.
Yeah, I mean, I remember everybody being always talking about, John Darin, and just the way you would make the piano almost stand up and talk. And so I just remember those are fond memories that it's amazing how that has gotten and stayed in me over these years. And I'm sure you could probably echo that. The things that we were raised with have really stuck with us. I know when my son was born, I could hear Judy it just started to come right out. I was singing, "He didn't bring us this far to leave us." I remember that, and I was like, those are the kind of days I remember.
Well, your cousin gave me my first piano lessons. I mean, she showed me how to make chords and how to make rhythm with those chords, and I took it from there. So I'll always owe a debt of gratitude to Judy. She was just a sweetheart of a lady.
Yeah, she sure was. We're talking to John Darin Rowsey today, and he is an old friend of ours that we've known for a number of years. In fact, when Jody and I first got married, we decided Jody was going to do an album or a CD, and I couldn't think of anybody better to. So we asked John Darin to do it, and he actually did Jody's CD. That was, golly, can you believe that was 21 years ago? That we.
And what a singer she is, man!
Right?
What a singer your wife is. My goodness.
Yeah, I actually resurrected that project because when we moved to Tulsa, things kind of got buried. We brought it back out and finally got it on all the digital platforms and everything like that. So let's talk about what you've been up to, though. I mean, we could reminisce on the past and probably fill up a whole show, but I mean, seriously, this goes long. His wife was her dad was my first pastor. I mean, the history here is long and deep, and so. But you've been busy. You've been up to a lot of big things and doing a lot of things. So, let's talk about the Guardians first. How did you come to that? What's that all about?
I left the road. I traveled with Karen Peck in New River for a number of years, from 1999, the end of it, to 2003. And when I came off the road from Karen Peck in New River, I kind of thought that was going to be the end of my traveling days. And I was music director at a great church with a 60 voice choir and a 13-piece band. And we had a good time, and I was enjoying all of that. The thing that happened, I think, that changed all that, I was working with an artist in the studio because I did production. I've always done production on the side for the last 25 years. And they had a personnel change. And I decided that, if you are a music director, you are also a part-time pastor. It's kind of what it feels like. I guess you hear the train going by.
Yeah. Just so folks know, John. Yeah, John's actually traveling and squeezed us in on his schedule, and up where we're from, that's the norm right there. The train's coming through.
That is the norm. But when I decided that I was going to kind of try to exploit my own music, the Lord had given it to me for a reason. That He wasn't finished with that. This opportunity with the Guardians came along, and honestly, I did not expect to be back on the road. I thought it was going to be a very part-time thing, and the Lord had other ideas. The first radio single that went out hit the national charts, which totally shocked all of us. And one thing led to another, and the demand was there. And so we just decided to follow the doors that the Lord opened, and He just kept opening them. And we ended up right now, as a matter of fact, this month, we have the number one song in the nation. And who would have thought at this stage of the game I would have written and sung the number one song in the country in Southern gospel music. So thankful for all of that, and just thankful that the Lord still opens doors even when we hit our 50s.
Can you believe that? That's hard. That's just, I just turned it, so I'm with you. What's the name of the song?
It's called I Wish I Could Tell You. And the premise of the song is, we all know that God has been good, and we talk a lot about His goodness. But every time I say something about how good the Lord is, I realize that it's short of what I'd really like it to be, because I don't have the words. And so the main theme of the song is I wish I could describe it, explain it, but there's no way I can ever do justice to His goodness. And people just were drawn to the message, and lo and behold, it's the number one song.
That's amazing. Folks, this is John Darin Rowsey. He is our guest today, an old family friend that we've known each other for over 40 years. He is in the Southern gospel group, the Guardians, and is actually on the road right now, traveling to do some other record producing. I don't know. Can you talk a little bit about that, or is this a top secret project?
No, not at all. I get to work with a lot of artists around the country now. Finally, the word got out that I, do what I do. And some groups have been gracious to ask me to come and be a part of helping produce their stuff. And this is a male trio in South Carolina. I won't say their name today because the release date hasn't been scheduled yet. But I will say the release dates have been scheduled for a new Kim Hopper project from the Hoppers. She's doing a hymns and classics that I worked on, and Michael Booth from the Booth Brothers. Also, we've got a release date for that. So I'm excited to be busy in the studio as well as on the road.
That's so awesome. Now, let's talk big time now. I flipping through the Facebook one day and see a post that you won the Dove Award for the best Christian musical. I just couldn't tell you, first of all, how proud I was to say that I knew you, but then secondly to say, wow, that's quite the honor, and that's not just your only award, is it?
It was amazing. I won my first Dove in 2008 for a Song of the Year, and believe it or not, a category that I'd never ever thought was for Bluegrass Gospel Song of the Year. And it wasn't written to be that, but it ended up kind of going that direction. And I was up against Ricky Skaggs in the category, and
Wow.
I thought, sure, there's no way anyone is going to take that award home except Ricky Skaggs. And lo and behold, they called my name, and I went and got it. And I was nominated the next year for Black Gospel Song of the Year for a song I wrote called Favor of God. And I said, I've been nominated and won one for Bluegrass Song and now for Black Gospel Song. And all I've ever written is Southern Gospel. So I didn't know how that was all happening, but I knew only God.
Covering the spectrum, man. All right, so tell us about the musical.
Well, the musical's called Messiah Overcame, and I wrote it with a guy from Lifeway named Mike Harlan. He's just a great guy who's been involved in printed choral music for a long time. And we had worked on a Christmas mini musical together. And so when they asked me who I wanted to work on this with, I chose him because he's just a really great guy. It's an easy work day in the writer's room. And so we got to work on this musical, and it came together really well. We thought, how could we write songs that not only would be something a choir could do, but even an artist could, pick up and use later, or they could use it for individual octavos and choral music. And man, it just came together really well. I did not expect it to be nominated for a Dove, much less a win. As a matter of fact, when the nomination came, I was so shocked. I called my wife first and said, "You're not going to believe this." And she was as shocked as I was. So when the night of the Doves came, because everything is virtual, all the award shows are virtual right now. When that came, I had even forgotten it was that night. And my publisher called and said, "You just won the Dove for Best New Musical." And I was like, "You've got to be kidding me." And we were dancing around the house. So it was great.
That's absolutely so something that we couldn't be happier for you about.
Well, thank you.
The premise of the musical, what is it about?
Well, it's the musical is what a lot of what they're doing right now is more of a streamlined. It's not an hour-long musical. It's about a 35-minute musical, and it consists of 6 songs. All of them are Easter-based. So, the songs talk about the death, burial, and resurrection. And, it usually in these musicals that you see, that I've seen in the last few years, they end with a big swarping ballad, that just absolutely lifts the roof off. And I thought, I want to do something different this time. And we wrote a big up-tempo thing with a little bit of a black gospel edge called Hallelujah, He Got Up. And it was a really cool way to end the musical on a high note in a little different direction and I think that may have helped us in the long run. And so it doesn't end with a big ballad moment. It ends with a big shout and shoes moment. So it's a little bit different, but in a cool way, I hope.
Folks, again, this is John Darin Rowsey of the Guardians. He's in the music business for a long time and a good friend of ours. John, having a career last like you had, and it's been in varying degrees, what's the secret to staying in it and still being relevant? And I mean, what are some keys that you could tell our people to sticking with something that long?
I know that, it has been said for a long time that everything eventually has to be redefined. And I know that the world continues to change, music continues to change. And I do want to be relevant, as you said. I want to stay current with what's happening right now. But I think you've got, we talked earlier about such a heritage that we both have. Actually, all three of us have, when you consider Jody.
Yeah.
The families that have been involved in church ministry and music ministry and a lot of different things. And I think in order to really be relevant, you also have to understand where you came from and be able to draw on that and know that it's not always the newest thing that God is using. A lot of times it's something that I've drawn on from as far back as I can remember, from my childhood. And everything that you grow up on is not perfect, and it's not. There's a lot of. Hopefully, we keep learning as we get older. I know I have learned a lot as I've gotten older, and I understand more about the Lord today than I feel like I ever have. But I feel like if you want to really be relevant and you really want the Lord to use you to your full capacity, you've got to be willing to look at the big picture and be willing to go back and draw on something that he taught you in the past. And I find myself doing that more and more. Maybe here we go again. Maybe it's a 50s thing, but I'm thankful for my heritage. I'm so thankful for what I get to do today. I never would have dreamed that I'd make my whole living from producing and doing music and traveling and singing that music. But God, he knew the desires of my heart from the time I was a child. And to think that he has opened doors that have given me that opportunity makes me feel very small sometimes, and makes me really understand, I think, that his plans are so much bigger than mine. His ways are so much higher than mine. And I just want to keep learning. I don't want to ever get to the place where I feel like, I've got it figured out. I've got some Dove Awards on the shelf and that kind of thing, because I think we were both taught as kids, we never fully figured God out. If the minute I think I've fully figured God out, he's going to show me something else. I promise you.
So good. That's so good. Listen, I know that your time's valuable, and you're actually pulled over to the side of the road to do this with us today. I couldn't appreciate this anymore. I'm just so grateful for your time, and I really pray for your safety on the road out there today. And we just hope that as we move on down the road, that we're able to see you face-to-face real soon.
Well, I would love to do that. And I will say this, and not just because we're here together, but you guys are two of the most talented and anointed people I know. And I'm so thankful that you guys are giving your all for the kingdom, because I think time is short, and I just honor you for that.
I really appreciate that. Folks, we're going to throw some information up on the screen here real quick. If you'd like to follow along, you can go to guardiansquartet.com, or you can follow him on Facebook at johndarin.rowsey, or you can go on Facebook and follow the Guardians online, or on Instagram, the Guardians Music, and of course on YouTube you can also grab that, the Guardians, and look to do a search for them there. John, thank you so much again. Give our love to Shirley and Michael and all the grandkids and everybody, and
Will do.
And we'll hopefully see you face to face sometime real soon.
That sounds great. God bless you guys.
Bless you. Be safe. We'll talk to you soon. That's John Darin Rowsey of the Guardians. And now let's stop for directions. The book of Psalm, chapter 119, verse number 11, says these words: "Your testimonies are my heritage forever, for they are the joy of my heart." Today, it was just so real to hear John Darin tell those stories and remember back in our time together growing up in church, that remembering where you came from and the heritage that you have is so important. I know that some people remember their past, and not everyone has a 100% great testimony of their past. Some people have scars from their childhood, thoughts of their childhood that are painful. And although there are differing degrees of happiness from people's past, it is the good that is there that we need to focus on. You are who you are today because of where you came from. Don't look at the past as all bad, even though some of it may be. I have bad in my past. You have bad in your past. We all do. But something good did come from your past. What is that, you may be asking? You. You have good things that have been placed inside of you that can absolutely make a difference in the world around you today. You have goodness that can come out of you when you care about those who need caring, when you help those who need helping, or you do good at the job that you have because they need to hit a quota. Good can come out of you all the time. Celebrate the good that you have that's been placed there, if by nobody else, by God Himself. Then go and enhance that good with more good, and then release that good on the rest of the world. There are people that you pass by every day, people that you work beside of every day, and people in your family that desperately need the goodness that you have. Remember, the good that is placed on the inside of you came from inside you, and you built your life around that. Let all the rest of that bad go. The more good you grab, the bigger the difference that you're going to make in the world today. That's going to wrap it up for the show today. My thanks to John Darin Rowsey, and congratulations to him on his second Dove Award. Thanks again to Jody and Preston for another great job over there at the tech booth. Until next time, I hope you found what you're looking for as you took the time today to expand your search and stop for directions. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks for joining us today. Connect with us on @expandingyoursearch on Facebook and Instagram, and @expandingsearch on Twitter. Relive any of our episodes on YouTube. We are available wherever podcasts are found, including Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. You can also download the Direction Ministries app on iOS, Android, Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. Take some time today to expand your search and stop for directions.